Today is the final day for 6, 7, and 8, and as I thought it was, it's going very well. So I'm not going to repeat many of the things that we've done in the last 2 videos. Simply quickly go through it, and I'll just show you the bow and the stern of the boat, which is where the majority of the difficulties will lie and where questions may arise if you're following this build to actually solve some of the problems that perhaps the book doesn't make too clear. With that in mind, we quickly go through, and there's really no secrets. We've been through going back and forward, adjusting the pieces. Perhaps the only thing we need to keep in mind is to make sure we have the staggered joints correct, and that we taper both ends down to 2.5 inches. And of course we immediately made an error. The first piece we cut on the port bow side, we made it about 30 seconds too short, and had to remake it. And what a difference compared to when we started off, where remaking a part was just a disaster. So we quickly remade another piece, and it's clamped in, and of course this time it fits perfectly. And all we've done is really wasted some time and wasted a bit of wood. So again, the confidence is building more and more as this build progresses, and as I, as a builder, become better at what I'm doing. Well, I'm getting much better at this. This is half an hour in the water and 2 15-second treatments with the blow dryer, and really works very well. So we just need to line this one up and readjust this one here, take it down a bit, and then we're alright. We use the caliper to check all the butt joints, because it really again makes sense to minimize the sanding of the pieces on the model by making sure that all the butt joint pieces are exactly the same size, and then just follow through with the same gluing and clamping. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on the starboard side, so there's no sense in repeating that, and we'll just wait until it dries and then put the last 4 pieces on the end. The other little error I had was this piece at the back, where the curve didn't really work very well. So I put a pen sand on it and sanded it down, and now it's just like the piece on the other side. One of the little challenges I had was, as I was putting in 6, 7, and 8, I found that the frames were not as level as I thought they were. And so I made up these 2 little sanders, nice round little sanders, which I can show you. There's a rough one and a thin one. And I would use this in the model to get the frames down and then finish it off with the fine sandpaper. The curves are very important on this, otherwise they you bump into the frames when you're sanding. So not as perfect a job as I thought I had done, but an easy and quick solution to the problem. This is the second to last piece at the end, and really is quite a compound curve, but because it's being bent on pieces that the curve is quite gentle, there are no sharp edges, it actually curved quite easily. And I have to say I'm really getting quite good at using the blow dryer, wetting the piece and using the blow dryer, because when I take it off, it really has the shape stays in place, and it really makes it very easy to clamp in place. So maybe the biggest challenge I have is pulling the clamps together. And those little yellow clamps that you see there, because 7 is slightly higher than both 6 and 8, I'm able to clip it on and pull them tight together. And that's perhaps been the savior to doing this job in the bow and the stern, where there's very little available to push the plank against the frame. And then the last job was really just putting these clean lines on both the stem and the stern. And this little saw, I took out one of the blades, so I only had one blade, and I was really able to cut a nice clean line and make the joint look proper. Well, another one under my belt. I'm so glad to get 6, 7, and 8 done. It was not as difficult as it first seemed to be. Perhaps the biggest issue I had were the uneven frames inside, and when I used clamps to force the strakes down against the frames, I actually got some distortion in the plank themselves, and had to soak it again to get that back out. It wasn't a big issue. Again, the challenge really is in the back and in the front. The middle section is relatively straightforward. So sorry if it was a little boring. I just need to remind myself from time to time that whereas this means a lot to me, for those of you who are simply looking at a video of somebody building a boat, it could actually be quite repetitive. And I don't apologize, because it is a build log for others who are going to do the Swan Practicum to follow, and hopefully it answers some of the questions that the book doesn't explain too clearly. So we'll see you in the next video.